put a smudge on my glasses. Yeah, I think they're okay. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is David Novak. I am 40 pages into volume 3, and despite the fact that I was dragged kicking and screaming into this, I feel obligated to finish the work since I've read volumes 1 and 2. After about 20 pages, Solzhenitsyn gave a personal anecdote and hooked me in. So, despite my pompous claims about the literary value of this work, something that I am not qualified to judge, I am enjoying this. The cat is making movements. I think you saw him up there briefly for a second. The love seat is not back to its place yet, so I have my good filming location, and there are piles of things off camera here, and cats, as you know, love it when things are piled up. So I have reached a moment. There's only been a small bit of synchronicity between this and Stephen Runciman's Crusade history, but I love it when that happens. It helps me better in processing information and getting a broader picture, I think. So last year when I undertook reading the Arabian Nights simultaneously with Gibbon's History of the Decline and Fall, I didn't realize that there would be a lot of overlap in geography and time. Well, the overlap between this and Runciman is not so much, but his last volume, The Kingdom of Acre, got into the Mongols, and the Mongols are a people that I want to study on, and it's a hard question of what book or books to start with. Just going from Amazon, it's really hard to make that kind of choice. And you know, when the average price of a book is looking to be something like $40, well, you don't want to just jump into it. And unfortunately, it's the kind of a book that you're not likely to just see at the bookstore. So, be that as it may, I'm not ready to read any of that history as yet. But I would like to share with you about a page from this. I believe in terms of Solzhenitsyn's own timeline, he is by now a somewhat practiced denizen of the Gulag, if you will. He's been in the system for a while, and he is being transported somewhere. Previously, I did a video, and if I can find it, I'll put a link in the description, discussing the transport of prisoners when they were newly incarcerated. And this transport, it's still the same system of transportation. And at this point, however, he's on the train. They're all crammed into one little partition of a car. I think it's designed for like 9 people, and they've put in at least 15, something like that. But things have come along to the extent where the prisoners are having what amounts to almost a debate with the young guard, who is naive, if you will. But the fact that it's turning into more of a debate, it shows that the society is shifting, even possibly shifting away from the Gulag system. And I just enjoyed this. It's about a page in length, and I will read this to you. "Look for yourself, lads. Look out the window," was the answer they got from us. "Look what you've brought Russia down to." Beyond the windows stretched a beggarly land of rotted thatch and rickety huts and ragged folk. We were on the Ruzayev line, by which foreigners never travel. If the Golden Horde had seen it so befouled, they would not have bothered to conquer it. On the quiet station at Torbeyevo, an old man walked along the platform in bast shoes. An old peasant woman stopped opposite the lowered window of our car and stood rooted to the spot for a long time, staring through the outer and inner bars at us prisoners tightly packed together on the top bed shelf. She stared at us with that look on her face which our people have kept for unfortunates throughout the ages. A few tears trickled down her cheeks. She stood there, work coarsened and shabby, and she looked at us as though a son of hers lay among us. "You mustn't look in there, Mama," the guard told her, but not roughly. She didn't even turn her head. At her side stood a little girl of 10 with white ribbons in her plaits. She looked at us very seriously, with a sadness strange in one of her years, her little eyes wide and unblinking. She looked at us so hard that she must have imprinted us on her memory forever. As the train eased forward, the old woman raised her blackened fingers and devoutly, unhurriedly, made the sign of the cross over us. Then at another station, some girl in a spotted frock, anything but shy or timid, came right up to our window and started boldly asking us what we were in for and for how long. "Get away," bellowed the guard who was pacing the platform. "Why, what will you do? I'm the same as them. Here's a pack of cigarettes. Give it to the lads." And she produced them from her handbag. We had already realized that the girl had done time. So many of them, now roaming around free, had received their training on the Archipelago. The deputy guard commander jumped out of the train. "Get away! I'll put you inside." She stared scornfully at the old sweat's ugly mug. "You go and yourself, you." "Give it to 'em, lads," she said to encourage us, and made a dignified departure. So we rode on, and I don't think the guards felt that they were protecting the people from its enemies. On we went, more and more inflamed with the conviction that we were right, that all Russia was with us, that the time was at hand to abolish this institution. Just a very nice vignette, or couple of vignettes. I think Solzhenitsyn is at his strongest when he's reporting personal experience of that sort. So I really loved the little mention of the Golden Horde. If I had not read Runciman, I would not have really known what he was talking about. And so I love it when history or histories mesh together a little bit like this. I'm coming to all of this as a latecomer, to be honest. So this book, like the other volume, has a couple of very, very poor maps in the front. And like the other volumes, interspersed photos in with the text. This one, Solzhenitsyn refers to plates So you know, in the original, it had photographic plates, which is how I prefer my photos to come. This does not, but it reprints the book as it would have been originally, but the photos are on just on plain paper. In this book, it's really no matter. The photos do not add much to the tale, as it were. I think if Anne Applebaum's History of the Gulag has photographic plates, they might be more relevant to the text at this point, with a bit of retrospect informing their description. So I will leave it there. My goal, now that I've found that this actually may be longer than the two previous volumes, the font is smaller and more text is crammed onto a single page, my goal is going to be to breeze through this a little faster, and I will try to post fewer videos of it. Although, as with this, I find that I read a section, and this is not the first in just 40 pages, and I think about it, and I want to share it. In the old world, my father would read something in a magazine or something, and he would put a mark on it and pass it around to people that he thought it would be of interest to. Well, I don't know that what I just read is of interest to any of you. So I will try to do a little bit less of that, or keep it to under a minute so it goes with the shorts. And I want to get out of the Gulag, as I say, and get on to some fiction at this point. I will leave this there. Thank you for stopping by my channel.